All right. Got Brian Rathbone here. We are in West Hall, the conference room, talking with what seems like the entire fourth floor of the West Hall, who just witnessed the chase down that was happening. We got Nate over here in the blue. He put a video together and put out the bat signal to rally everyone. So Nate, can you just talk about what you saw from your perspective?
So up on the fourth floor, we had a great perspective of the entire thing. I initially went over to my window when I heard the sirens were getting awfully close, and there were a lot of sirens, a lot of police, obviously. Went over to my window. I saw the red car with I assume a student in it crash up onto the curb. The car stops. All the police on both sides stop. They get out of their cars. They have their rifles out. And they start yelling at the kids in the IM fields, "Get out of here, get out!" And the kids all just massive run, just crazy. Scattering. And so they have the rifles and they're screaming at him, "Turn off the car, get out of the car, turn around." Slowly. They really wanted to make sure that he had no weapons on him, of course. They made him kind of lift up his shirt and rotate around. To make sure that he had no weapons in his waistband. Then he just kind of backed up to them. Once he got close enough, they told him to stop, and he went down on his knees, and they kind of did a gentle tackle, and then cuffed him and put him into a car, and then they kind of sat around for about an hour talking about stuff, and they finally left.
Alrighty, so I mean, when this whole thing transpired, I mean, Nate, you can answer this question, or someone else can jump in as well. What were kind of your initial reactions when this whole thing kind of transpired?
So originally, Polling's lockdown drill.
Can we get your name real quick?
Evan Legler.
Evan Langler.
So Polling's lockdown alarms went off, same as the fire alarms, as me and Tanner were walking back from Dixon. And there was just campus police cars, and there was people beginning to leave the IM fields and being gathered by some on-campus police officers. Then, as we walked back into the hall, we began hearing the sirens, and things started to accelerate and get a lot greater. But for the most part, we walked into our rooms. Most of male rooms are facing the IM fields in the West Hall on the fourth floor. So we began hearing the sirens. I believe what happened is cars drove down the main road between the dorms and the fields, and then from there we watched everything transpire the same way that Nate explained.
Did anyone else have anything to add? Just kind of what their experience was, what they kind of saw.
It's pretty weird thinking that he might have been armed, and that they had such large guns, and so many of them all pointed at him. They had some officers. They had a canine as well. They had officers kind of surrounding him with sort of rifles, but they were kind of laying down or set on cars. It was almost like a sniper thing. It was kind of crazy. Yeah.
And else anyone else what did you guys see, or how did you guys kind of find out about the news?
Pretty much we were all in our rooms with the windows open. We heard the sirens, and so we just went to the windows. And some people were walking around like Greg was.
Yeah, I was walking back and I saw on the street right there the the sheriff going really quickly and then turning left between the quad and west, and he had a rifle, and I didn't know what was happening, and he was yelling at two other students to get back to their dorm or they'd be accountable for interfering with the rest.
So you were outside when it was happening?
Yeah.
So where exactly were you when this whole thing?
I was to the left of Marketplace West and to the right of the quad on whatever that street is there.
Okay, so
in between Marketplace West and the quad.
Yeah, so the street right there. I'm blanking on the name of that street right now. It's just that little tiny street.
No, is it Washington?
I don't really know the streets around here at all.
So yeah, Intramural is the one that goes that way.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
It's a short street.
So.
But anyway, it was right around the corner. Everything was going on right around the corner. But I didn't know what was happening, so I thought it seemed like they were surrounding West. So that was cool.
So yeah, when you're when you're told, go in the dorms, how quickly did you react?
Well, I was running. And calling Ben to see what was happening. He didn't answer though. So. But yeah, it was. I didn't know if I was allowed to go in the dorms though, because even though he said to, because I didn't. It seemed like they were surrounding West, and it was happening inside of West because everything was on the opposite side of the building from my perspective.
Alrighty. Does anyone else have anything to add?
No.
Played fetch with the dog, that's about it.
Yeah. Dog found a lacrosse ball.
Dog found a lacrosse ball.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you again for sharing.
Thank you.
I mean, we're just gonna put this online, and we'll put it on the barometer website. So we'll continue to have more coverage on it. So if you guys have any more questions or want to learn more, I would check that out, and we will give you more information as we get more everything. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.